Hey Space Cats, you've joined me for another video on drawing, planning and publishing, and this week it is Planaroonie. Yes, March is upon us and we need to whip out our bullet journals, our favourite pens and plan the month. Last month for me it was blue tits. Yes, they are birds in the UK. But when I was looking back at my nature journal, March was all about badgers. And people seem to either love or hate badgers, depending on whether they are digging up your garden. But for those of you who've got honey badgers across the world, UK badgers are not nearly as fierce, although you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of one. So, should we do it? Let's go.
For this quote page, I am going to be using my Papermate Flair pens. I've talked about these loads before and I really do love using them, usually when I'm doing book signings, because they write so beautifully, but you can draw with them as well, and I'll show that a bit later on. So on the quote page there are so many beautiful things to be happy about, I think it says. I'm going to be using two different colours and I'm going to swap the colours during halfway through the word. And to do that, and you'll see a little close-up in a minute, you drag the colour into the next word. So you're using two colours, swapping those pens over and just dragging a little bit of that colour down and using it as you go through the word. So I was thinking about this. To some people it's sort of, using a phrase like this, you might think, well, that's all very well, but my life's really difficult, I've got this going on, I've had these things happen to me. But actually what the quote is about, it's not a flippant thing, it's about looking at nature. And if you, I really truly believe if you get outside and just have a look at what's around you, it just makes you feel so much better. And I definitely found that last year when I was doing my nature journal. Every day, go out, see what I could see, and it really did lift my spirits. I also like the colours so much in this pack, so I wanted to do a sort of a rainbow kind of colour scheme. So that's where we're at, and a little squiggle going around the edge. You might have noticed as well that underneath the yellow I did rub the pencil lines out just before I did it, because it can show through, but the other colours are fine, they don't show. And then using the Tombow, this one is one of the purples from the pastel range, and I'm here just going to be doing a little, this one's a badger, and it's the first, this is the monthly title page. So because we're doing badgers this month, I thought I'd do a big badger to start with for the title, and then where I had the purple up above, I'm just letting that dry, and that is going to be the calendar. Sometimes I do the calendars a bit bigger than I've done it there, but I think I did it last month like quite small, and it was okay, so figured I would pretty much follow the same thing. And a few little cute leaves along the bottom just to make it, just to fill up that bottom area a bit and make him look like he's standing on something. These pens are a fairly new pack, and you will find if you buy some yourself, you will find that after a while they do the sort of fibrey bits on the end do tend to split a little bit and start to splodge the colour out. So you might need to find some new ones, but they last quite a long time. This is a Crayola Super Tips in the grey, and it's a sort of bluey grey, this one, because I didn't want to use black, because of course our badger friends are mostly black with a bit of grey, but I thought I didn't want it to be too monochrome. I'm all about colour, so I thought I would use grey for his fur and then add extra colour throughout in terms of the flowers and the lettering. And then going back to the pastel Tombows, that was the pink from the pastels. So each one of these numbers or letters is in one square, and it just about fits in, although irritatingly we've got one day sticking out from the end of each of those weeks because it's not a 28 3-day cycle. Ah! And here is another little badger. I've done different badgers on each page, doing different things, just to keep me entertained. This is going to be my monthly planner, and I'm using 2 different colours from the Tropical Vacation Papermate pens. The purpley one is for the weekends and the pink one is for the week, and then taking the Tombow purple again just to highlight where the weekends are. And I find this page really useful, and in fact I'm thinking what I might do at the end of where I think the end of this month is going to be, I might actually put April's in so I can start filling that up fairly soon. A bit more grey for our badger buddy. So they have these black stripes that go from their nose through their eyes up to their ears, and then they have a white belly and a white chin. And this little guy is happily having a little snooze. Key tasks for the month. Quite helpful because it gives me a good overview about what work things are coming up, what I need to get, what I need to achieve really. And I'm just putting bullet points in to start with, just to give me a starting point for my key tasks. Here's another little badger, big tummy. Don't forget to put their little claws on as well, because they have got big claws, badgers. That's why you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of them. This is my grasshopper mind page, which is sometimes known as a brain dump. Grasshopper mind is a bit more of a Zen teaching, so I go for that really, because if you're learning to meditate or trying to be mindful, grasshopper mind is a good description about what goes on in your head. And then just a page of things that I am grateful for, because when you're feeling grateful and you're thanking somebody for something, there's less space for feeling anxious or depressed or moody or any of those things really. And you'll see that I've put a little yellow dot and I've let that dry. Again, it's from the Tombow pastel pack, and I'm just drawing little flowers with my Papermate in black, and those are going throughout the whole of this month. So it's badgers and flowers mainly. This doesn't show up particularly well, but it is actually a purple colour. And this is just making it a little bit thicker. I'm using also pale pink and the magenta, which I think looks really lovely. If you want to have a look at the nature journal that I made last year, it's all on Instagram, just search for me. And I'm about to have a book launch, so hop over to my website if you want one, because I've now made it into a book. Woohoo! And if you're interested in publishing a children's book yourself, then especially if it's a picture book or one for younger readers with pictures in each chapter, then have a look at the course that I've made for people like you. The intro is free and you can see what lessons there are in the 3.5 hours of video tutorial. It's the exact formula that I've used every time I've made a book, and I've had some great results from my students as well. So this is going to be my first weekly spread, and I'm copying what I did last month because it worked really well, but because the first falls on a Sunday, I am actually doing 8 days in this week. So I just wanted to fill up 4 spreads and not 6, because 2 of those would just have 1 day on them, irritatingly. So I did 4 spreads, and 2 of those weeks are going to have 8 days. Using up a few more of those lovely colours in the Papermate Flair Tropical collection. I started off thinking maybe I was going to do a monochrome month, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I can't really work in anything other than colour. So there you go. Now you know something about me. Another little, this guy looks a little bit like a moomin, but actually another badger. There we go, looks like a badger now. And as soon as he's coloured in, you'll be able to see he is one of our badger chums and not Moomin Papa. And here's a very quick flick through of the whole month. Hope you enjoyed it. Send me a link to what you've done in your bullet journal this month.
If you subscribe and ding the bell, then you will be notified every Friday when I upload a video. And if you want to support the channel, then give me a thumbs up and share it with a friend that you think might find this information useful. Remember, drawing, planning and publishing. Join me next week for a Draw With Me video on how to draw buildings and settings, the one that I promised you last week. Oops, sorry. I'm off to find a badger friend. I will see you next time. Nanu nanu!